Hey guys, what's up? How are you? So I'm coming to you today with some messages, and the first message is thank you. Thank you so much, because guess what? Ta-da! We did it. I'm over 1,000 subscribers, and that's obviously entirely due to you guys. My community, my tribe. I feel like I've got some folks out there who are appreciating what I've been sharing and who have found value in what I'm offering, and I'm very, very grateful for that. I'm deeply humbled and grateful for that, because it doesn't have to be that way. And who knew when I started doing this a couple years ago that that I'd be talking to people like on a regular basis, or that there would be people even listening. I never conceived that this would happen. And I know there's plenty of creators out there who have tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands and millions of subscribers, and little old me, I have 1,000-ish, but to me that's a really big deal, and so I don't want to minimize any of that. And so I want to again say thank you so much. I'm very grateful. And so here's another part of my message. So the deal is that on YouTube, apparently, according to their terms, when you get to 1,000 subscribers, you can live stream. So that you used to be able to live stream just period, and I did way back. And then they changed their terms, and so then they said, well, no, you have to have 1,000 subscribers to be able to live stream. So I was like, great, and so I chugged along, and finally here we are, right at over 1,000. And so I was gonna head out today and do some stuff in town and do a few things. And I was like, well, before I do, let me do a quick live stream. That'll be fun, right, to get back on. But when I tried, YouTube was like, sorry, you don't meet the qualifications. I was like, what are you talking about? Yes, I do. And it outlined what they were. Like, you have to have 1,000 subscribers. And I was like, I have them, right? My people are with me. We're coming together. So I don't know what happened, but for some reason it's not allowing me to live stream with you guys today. However, I will not be deterred. And so that led me to, sorry, my hair's a little damp, so it's doing its own thing right now. Bear with me. So it made me think about kind of what I was going to say, what I want to talk about. And so I'm taking a little bit of a turn to say, listen, here's the bigger message. The bigger message is when things happen in your life, when shit happens, right? We get to decide what we do about that, how we feel about it, how we respond to it, what we allow that to mean for us. And so I could have been all pissed off and like, what do you mean? And spent like the next hour or so fussing or combing through policy, just whatever, just basically wasting my time being upset. But why would I do that? Like, why would I want to spend this beautiful day disgruntled? I don't want to spend it that way, because I'm happy and I have no reason to be upset. And so there's been some mistake made evidently, or perhaps there's something I don't know about that's going on. Well, whatever. And so I'm choosing to be happy and to feel good and to share this, to use this as a teachable moment, right? So when there are things that happen to us, be they great or small, minor, minor setbacks, minor annoyances, people that get under our skin, or major challenges in life, like could be like, life altering, where your very existence is at risk. Your health is such that, you don't know what's kind of going on, or, you just have some really challenging, difficult situation. Your house is in foreclosure, or whatever. Your marriage is on the rocks, whatever it could be. You get to choose how you want to view that. You get to choose what that means in your life. And if you feel like it means like, oh my God, impending disaster, then it can certainly be that. And life has a way of giving you what you expect. Not always what you want, but what you expect. And so I'll share an example with you. When I was in, I think it was my senior year of college, a long time ago, I was diagnosed with thyroid disease, and it was called Graves' disease. It's a hypothyroid disorder. I'd never heard of it. As far as I knew, never had any kind of health challenges, and certainly I wasn't even sure where my thyroid was. Like, I had no idea. And so of course I went to a series of doctors and was finding out about all this stuff. And I went to one, forgive me for saying this, but one old white man. Not that it matters if he was white or old necessarily, except that maybe he, in terms of being, an older doctor, he was just used to kind of that old school mentality where it's like, well, the book says this, and my training tells me that. And he told me at was like maybe 20, 21 years old, whatever I was as a senior. Oh, you're just going to be on medication for the rest of your life. I was like, what? Like, I mean, I remember instantly in the moment, like, no, I'm not. Like, it's just, I just refused to accept that. It just, I mean, and it wasn't even like a refusal, like pushing against it, because it didn't even hit me in that way. It just sounded preposterous to me. And maybe that's youth. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. But I get what I'm saying. The reason I'm telling you that, sharing that with you, is because I feel like in those moments when certain things happen, we get to decide how we process information, that's why I said, what you allow something to mean to you. And I just never allowed that to mean anything to me, and I did take medication for a while. And I think for the first 6 months I was put on something, and then kind of on and off I was on different things for some years, but there were big chunks of years in between where I didn't take any medication. And like right now, I haven't taken any kind of medication whatsoever I can't even tell, like years and years and years. And I go, like every now and then I get a checkup and have my blood test and all that kind of stuff. And I'm fine. And I don't know whatever happened to that Graves' disease. Maybe technically it's still there. I don't know, but it took a hike basically. And so I just refuse to, again, I don't like the word refuse, because refusal sounds like it's pushing against something. And I caution against that, because I think when you push against something, you're giving it energy, you're giving it a force, even though it's a negative force, like you're resisting, it's the resistance, it's that energy of pushing against, instead of just letting it fall away. And then like, what does this have to do when there's nothing to push against? This has to go too. It's like arguing with someone. If you refuse to engage in an argument, there really can't be one, right? I had a situation, also a personal situation some years ago, where there was someone who was trying to argue with me, and I just remained silent, basically. Because at this point, it was a relationship I was in, and at a certain point, I realized, okay, this person just needs to kind of argue. After a while, I was like, okay, that's the default, and he wants to argue, and I just was like, I don't want to argue. I don't like to argue. I'm not into that. And so I just was kind of silent and watched him go on for a while, and then eventually he stopped, because what's he going to keep saying, right, if I'm not engaging? And so it's the same kind of thing, that whether it's a health diagnosis or relationship, or your bank statement says bad news, or whatever it is, it's how we respond to it. And so let's say you get, your thing is overdrawn, or getting letters from creditors like, look, we're about to foreclose on your house, or all this negative stuff, or someone says nasty stuff about you. I got people right now sending me basically, like, I wouldn't call it hate mail, but like nasty grams for sure. Okay, I mean, that's how they feel. Why am I gonna spend my time entertaining that? Like, I know who I am. I know what I'm here for. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm not doing. And so that's it. I choose instead to focus on what I do enjoy and what I am about, and how I do want to help people, and doing work that's meaningful, and doing things that are good for me. And so, it started out as this little teeny nugget of like YouTube live streaming, and turned into like, well, wait a second, there's a bigger message here, right? I was talking to my son recently about this, because I don't know what his deal was one day, but I think he just didn't want to do something, and was like, complaining about it. And I was like, listen, you cannot control the circumstances around you, whether it's school or something I think it was something that one of his friends said or did, made him upset, something like that. Anyway, I was like, you can't control that. But what you do get to control is how you respond to it, how you choose to deal with whatever it is. And that's where your power is. I was telling him specifically, I said that you are powerful, and that's where your power is. It's in how you choose to manage the circumstances in your life. Because whether you don't like your teacher, or you didn't get chosen for the team, or any kind of thing that not just a kid but any of us might be upset about, your boss is a dick or something, excuse me. But it's real, right? Things happen, shit happens in life, and it isn't always in our favor. And so what is up to us is how we deal with it. And we've all heard this before, but I think it bears repeating. And here's another thing. It's 2020 now. It's still a new year. I know shortly after the first maybe a few days or week at least in January, people don't say Happy New Year anymore, but it is still a new year. And a lot of times after, again, those first few days or weeks, that people fall off. They don't go to the gym, they don't do whatever it is they said they were gonna do, but there's still time. We have a whole span of 2020 ahead of us still. And there is time to do what you want to do for yourself. There's time to create your being. And I don't mean like just your physical being. I mean like your being, the way that you are being, the way you are showing up in this world, in your life, in your own life. There's time for you to adjust that and to make it work for you in this year. And obviously we're not limited to a year, but frankly, we don't know how long we're gonna have, right? I mean, I'm filming this at the time shortly after Kobe Bryant died, tragically, and all the other people that were with him, terrible, right? So you never know. And I'm saying, make the most out of what we do have by choosing how you live your life, choosing how you think your thoughts, right? I chose to wear this today, right? I chose to have a glass of water. I'm also gonna choose what I think about. I'm also gonna choose what I let affect me. And I think a lot of people spend a lot more time picking out their shoes or their ties or choosing their nail polish or whatever than they do thinking about the thoughts they allow themselves to think. And if we are as vigilant about our mindset as we are about other things in our lives, often very kind of petty and unimportant things, I think we see a huge shift. I'm going to be having a conversation soon with someone about wealth. I think that wealth and money and profit and things like that are absolute, they're like, what is the, I'm lost, it's not coming to my mind, the word, but they're like triggers, there it is, they're triggers for people. And a lot of people get very upset when you talk about making a lot of money or being rich or being wealthy or that money is good, things like that. I've had people's YouTube viewers who are like, you're bad because you're making money. And I'm like, why is that a bad thing? Why? I find that interesting that people find that earning and profit and prosperity is bad. Like, who said so? Why? Who wants to be poor, right? I mean, I definitely don't want to be poor. I know poor people who don't want to be poor. And that doesn't mean that being rich is better just because of the money. Obviously, again, it's your mindset. It's how you live your life. We can all have, whatever, material things, but you know that that's not what makes it. But being wealthy on top of being happy is great, in my opinion. Like, why wouldn't you want to have the means to live in the way that you want to live and take care of your family and help other people, right? To do great things in the world, to, if you're into the environment, like plant some trees. If you're into education, educate some children, pay some kids tuition. If you're into health and wellness, create something that allows people to be healthy, to live healthier lives, help some farmers, just whatever it is. Why wouldn't you want to have the ability to do that? And if money can help you do it, why is that a bad thing? So anyway, like I said, I know that those are triggers, and people have said things to me specifically on this channel about, you're doing bad. And I'm like, well, okay, I don't really try to entertain that. My mindset is such that I am keyed into the flow of goodness and health and happiness and love and money. And to me, all of it goes together. Sex, love, money, laughter, light, joy, peace, friendship, family, just everything good, helping other people, altruism, philanthropy. I'm down for all that. And so, that's my message today is like, be free, be happy, choose your thoughts, right? Choose to focus on that which is going to enhance you and better your life. So I think I've made my point here. I think I can go out and shed some love into the world, right? Spread some love, shed some light. That's what I'm about to do. So YouTube, whatever, I'll get back with them later. But for now, I got some stuff to do. So I wish you guys a wonderful day, and hope you receive this message well, that it lands in a soft, wonderful place, and that you can share it maybe with somebody else, okay? Mwah. Peace, love. Thanks again for this new subscriptions, for the old school viewers. I love you too, I love you back, and we'll talk again soon. Bye.